What are the Democrats saying? You don't like the Federal Reserve. You don't like government-run health care. You don't like all of this. You are a terrorist. So it's the same thing. And now we see the Democrats and Republicans, now that the hoax that conservatives did this is blown over, you now see them unifying to say conspiracy theorist, people that think that there's mega banks manipulating currency worldwide, which is admitted fact, and people that think government might be staging terror, they're to blame. The Democrats and Rush Limbaugh, the king of the Republicans, are now in unison on that talking point. And when you see a convergence of the left wing and the right wing of this tragedy buzzard, this tragedy vulture, you better know who they're scared of. And they're scared of 9/11 truth. They're scared of you learning about Gulf of Tonkin and Ajax and Northwoods and Gladio and NATO option and all the other staged terror attacks. They're worried that you're going to find out about government-sponsored terror and you're going to be watching when the State Department's ordered by the CIA to get the underwear bomber on the plane on Christmas Day. You're going to be watching when it comes out that Anwar al-Awlaki, the #1 active operative in al-Qaeda, is admitted CIA, hanging out secretly at the Pentagon with the Secretary of the Army while he's on the most wanted list. You're going to find out that they're using terror to take your liberty and freedom and to tell you to politically shut up every time something happens. You're going to shatter their paradigm and realize they are the terrorist, and they're staging the terror attacks as a pretext to set up a police state and take our freedoms. And when you realize that, and when the general public realizes that, and when that idea becomes the mainstream, which it's now becoming, their game is over. Game over for the offshore corporations that wrap themselves in the American flag and try to mesmerize everybody to go along with them, because they need the public's acquiescence. They need the public to sit down and shut up so Big Daddy government can protect us from the terrorist. Then you research and you find out Big Daddy government is the terrorist. Folks, okay, recapping just brazen, naked hypocrisy. Glenn Beck, after telling us that the government's preparing to stage a new Oklahoma City to be blamed on Glenn Beck, which they are doing. He just doesn't mention that in all those talking points, yours truly's had it in with him for whatever reason. Now he says, in the 5-minute clip I've got another 1-minute clip. We got a guest coming up, so I'll have to play him tomorrow. But I already played part of it, that 9/11 Truth is going to stage a new Oklahoma City. And that 9/11 Truth is very, very dangerous. And that 9/11 Truth, he told us was going to be dangerous, and that this guy was a 9/11 truther. So he's doing exactly what he blamed the Democrats for, and being a hypocrite, because by his logic, anyone that says government might stage a terror attack is a dangerous, delusional person who may shoot and kill people. Well, then, Glenn, are you planning to shoot and kill anybody? This is a very dangerous game. And I'm a 9/11 truther who's being demonized, and I'm an Oklahoma City truther from day one. And I know the facts of that case, Glenn, just like you do. And it's creepy. I mean, you should be creeped out by the fact they're getting ready to set us up for a new Oklahoma City. So I guess you're just wallowing at their feet then, groveling, saying, don't blame me, blame the 9/11 truthers, say they did it. Glenn all week's been telling us it's wrong to blame somebody for violence just because of their ideas. But then he comes right back and does the same thing they're doing. Now, I guess Michael Savage is dangerous too, huh, Glenn? Because he said over and over again on his show, listeners send us the clips, that the government is going to stage a terror attack. And I'll tell you, looking at all the evidence, I believe this guy disappeared for not 1 week, 2 weeks. The government was all over him. We're now learning he had been in some type of psychiatric care. We're now learning that the county is hiding his police records, even though those are supposedly supposed to be public. They are scared. And you add all the other factors, the drugs, the rest of it, the MO. I believe this was a staged event. And I believe what original witnesses said, there must have been other shooters there. But let's go ahead. I mean, regardless of that, they're using it to take all of our freedoms. But in case you forget, here's Michael Savage talking about government-sponsored terror.
Now I'll make another prediction. I predict that very soon Obama will create a crisis along the lines of the Reichstag fire. I don't know what form it will take, but I believe that once the minions are seen for what they are, Rahm Emanuel and his gang will set off a Reichstag fire in this country of some kind, and they will recall the military dictatorship of Lincoln and Stanton during the Civil War, when civilian suspects were arrested without warrant. I will tell you as I sit here, I fear that every night as I go to sleep. I put nothing past these agitators who have suddenly seized control of the most powerful economy and the most powerful military on earth.
And he goes on from there with a lot of historical evidence of that. So, Michael Savage can talk about Obama staging a Reichstag. Beck can talk about it. Beck can say they're getting one ready to blame it on him, because you got all the Democratic operatives actually saying that. What we need is a new Oklahoma to blame it on our opposition, and so you can reconnect, Mr. President. And I tell you that for month after month, and then Beck finally listens, goes on the air and talks about it, and then 2 months later is saying 9/11 truth is evil. 9/11 truth is 6 of the 10 commissioners saying the official story is a lie. 9/11 truth is NORAD standing down. 9/11 truth is Building 7 blowing up and falling into its own footprint at free fall speed, and the police saying, get back, they're going to blow it up. That's all on video, pal. I cannot ignore that. Oh, the government will shoot up little kids with syphilis in Guatemala, but they won't blow up a building. It's not the government. It's criminal elements within. You're like, are you saying there aren't a Muslim threat? There are real Muslim extremists. But 9 times out of 10, if you research it, they're being run by al-Qaeda, by the Pentagon. I've been on major conservative talk shows, and I go, what about Anwar al-Awlaki, Fox News? And they'll go, yeah, I saw that he was secretly at the Pentagon. Let's move on. I'm like, no, this is the guy running the Fort Hood shooter, running the underwear bomber, running all the rest of them. And he's not a double agent. He's commanding the operations so the government can take our freedoms. Yeah, he's got crazy Muslim lunatics working for him who really think they're fighting for Allah. But at the top, it's run right out of the Pentagon, and I'm tired of it. Zbigniew Brzezinski has written a best-selling book bragging how in '79 he created al-Qaeda and the Taliban. You got to start thinking like a globalist to be able to counter this. One last clip I want to take from the memory hole to remind you before we go to Mark Dice. Obama, Missouri truth squads, and they had sheriffs, district attorneys, police chiefs on the news. This is one of many newscasts saying, you will be arrested if you tell lies about Obama. And who decides? No judge, no jury, no civil trial. They will decide if something's not true. And they went on to say, if you say he's not a Christian, arrested. If you say he wasn't born in America, arrested. This is who they are. They want to ban free speech. They've got armies of police in this country, the political officers on top, who will follow those orders, just like they have cops that'll follow the orders to confiscate guns in New Orleans and surrounding areas. They're beta testing. So when you hear them say they want to end free speech and bring in the fairness doctrine and shut down talk radio and have FCC control the web, which they just declared 2 weeks ago, and they've got all the cybersecurity bills lined up. Notice how this is all happening at once. It was all lined up. The legislation's all lined up. The Republicans are coming into Congress. All this is happening. Some guy that his friends all said thought he was under mind control, totally drugged up on an amnesic drug, doesn't know who he is, and then this happens magically right on time, and a 9-year-old who was born on 9/11 gets killed, and now they're bringing in the 9/11 flag, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other points. It's staged. It's staged. And even if you don't think it was staged, they're sure opportunistically seizing on it.